Ellie was diagnosed with what's called spinal muscular atrophy, SMA, at the age of 14 months. She was having difficulty drinking a bottle. She would take a considerable amount of time to drink a 6-ounce bottle. And she began to slow down in that crawl and looked to be getting weaker. We sought out medical advice and went in to see a pediatric neurologist. He examined her and said, yes, I agree, she's moving fairly slow for her age, and this is what I think. He gave us a little background on SMA, but didn't go into any detail at all. And he said, we're going to send out some blood work. 6 weeks later, went back in, and he sat us down and said, well, she has SMA. We were devastated, and we basically looked at him and said, you know, what do we do next? And he said, what can I do for you? And I said, what can you do for me? What can you do for this child? And he said, well, really what we'd like to do is see her once a year and just keep her medical records updated yearly. And other than that, that's it. And so we began to, you know, ask all the questions of, are there treatments? Are there anything, any studies that they're doing that we can get involved in to start trying to help her right now? He basically said he'd be more than happy to let us know when one became available. And that's how we walked out of that office. So she had a progressive slide. And this is what, when you look at this disorder, this is exactly what happens, is that it never gets any better. It just regresses. We began to find that there really were no treatments available, nothing that they were doing. She was treated for her first treatment at 18 months. The treatment was very quick. Within 60 days of that first treatment, she began to eat like we'd never seen her eat before. She had an appetite. She was eating solid foods, and that in itself just amazed us. That, you know, that this was happening to the child that couldn't drink 6 ounces of milk out of a bottle. She began to be able to actually roll on the floor where she could not roll to either side prior to that. Her diagnosis, again, is, as explained to us, was that she is never supposed to progress, she's only supposed to regress. And since starting those treatments at 18 months, we've seen nothing but progress, and she's continuing to progress. We've definitely done the right thing. The Muscular Dystrophy Association sends us regular mailings, a monthly magazine, and Ellie was actually in the last magazine and was actually standing up, holding on to nothing, standing up in the picture, and she actually is able now to stand at a table. We actually take a coffee table at home and we've raised it up just a little higher for her as she gets taller, and she can stand at that table and move herself around the table while playing with her toys and things.